So today we're going to go over an Ashe game. So in general, Ashe is a very strong comp. I find that I have like varied success with it sometimes. I think that augments and certain like positionings are like extremely important. And I think that's like something that makes this patch very difficult, which is something that I'm getting used to. Because originally, like, you know, before the skill was just like hitting the units and understanding the stabilization points, but like also not like throwing away placements or health needlessly is also really important. So in this particular game, I start with a Aphelios, which is pretty good. Aphelios is kind of an unslept on unit a little bit, especially if you're playing like a multiple sniper build. And Aphelios 2 can streak you for a lot of the game. He's a great item holder for Ashe for late game. So, you know, it's something that you should always consider. Starting with an Aphelios, you can also do like the whole faded opener. But a lot of times I just lean towards playing snipers with an Aphelios, right? Like, I'd rather, instead of trying to fit in faded, I'd rather just fit in some extra snipers and have like a front line, right? I'm not quite sure exactly how dedicated I am to one line or the other, but over here, I do start with a Mumu, which is really strong. In terms of augments, I think first choice Best Friends is really good. It fits really nicely with snipers because Wardens, like the armor and the attack speed, is just really good for all the snipers. So I think it's the best pick for me right there. We'll check the stats after. We usually check the stats on stage 3-2 just because it fits really nicely. And then it's the item anvil one. I just want any item that I can kind of fit. Adaptive Helm is also really good because Adaptive Helm fits really nicely on a lot of the Warden units, giving them mana, AP, as well as like armor MR, right? So Adaptive Helm is a really nice item. Like, it's one of Nautilus's best items. It's pretty good on a Mumu, I think, right? So it's nice. Like, usually you want to have like good front line, but a Deathblade is also fine. It's just like a really solid AD item, right? Might as well just put it on Aphelios. So as you can see, I'm kind of holding an extra Ari for faded. I do have like a lot of units. I have this Garen unit pair. We're hoping that we can try and streak some of the stage. The reason we're hoping we can streak is because we're holding on to 3 costs, right? This is 6 gold, right? So playing them on the board, it makes you stronger, yes, but it also makes it so you can't hit an econ threshold, right? If I got dropped 2 3-cost units, that means other people got dropped a comparable amount of gold and or items. So the 3 costs, like, it could be bait sometimes, right? I could have made 10 last turn, make 20 this turn. I would be rich. I would be very rich, right? And you know, if these aren't strong enough to compensate by making me the econ by win streaking, that's where it becomes a little bit stressful, right? So playing around the opener is extremely important, especially if you're playing these lines. A lot of the 4-cost lines are super contested as well, right? In that a lot of people end up playing towards the same units, and then you have to like kind of like war of attrition, try and like, you know, see who lives out longer in order to hit like a stable board. But I am quite strong, right? I have this Garen upgrade now, right? I was holding the Jaxes, right? You know, maybe Jax is good in some spots, right? To play like another upgraded unit, right? Upgraded units are really going to help you streak. But for me at least, I'd rather just make the first econ threshold. Here, I just buy units, pre-level, right? The reason is that I hit this Kog'Maw upgrade and I wasn't going to make econ anyways, right? So because I wasn't going to make 20 gold, this is what I was saying before, right? I'm scouting now. I kind of just did that all instinctively. There are some people that look very strong, like the duelist player with the Kiana. There's another duelist player like a Darius upgrade that I could play that are in my pool, right? These guys in particular are very strong. So I kind of instinctively just went with it. I have a combat augment, so I feel like, you know, combat is really good here. If I get an item that I can slam with this bow, then I'm going to have an extra item on Aphelios, right? I pre-level so that I'm level 5. Hopefully I can find like some higher quality unit that I can put in. You know, any of these really, that might be nice. Or even just another Warden frontline. That's why I'm holding on to this Gnar, right? So we'll see exactly how it ends up. Extra defensive component is okay for me. I wouldn't mind making a defensive item. I think I generally want like the rod just to make a Guinsoo. Guinsoo is very important if you're playing towards Ashe. is not important if you're playing towards Kaisa. Typically, like, the order of operations is, like, if you're playing towards, like, Ashe, and let's say you're flexing, like, Ashe Kaisa, right, because they're both AD units. Typically, what I like to make is I like to make IE, and then if I'm playing, if I'm playing towards, like, Ashe, typically, you just need the Guinsoo, right? So instead of IE, I have this Death Blade, so I feel like I already have, like, a strong AD item, right? So I really want to make a Guinsoo. I took the one with the belts. I can probably just slam a Redemption, right? No matter what, because I took this Death Blade, I'm probably playing towards, like, an AD line, right? I'm playing towards some line that does attack damage, the orange stat, right? So if I'm playing towards these, it's like, maybe I should, you know, how do I phrase it? Maybe I should just get rid of this teeter, right? Because I'm not really gonna need it. Here it's like, do I play Faded or do I play my Warden front line? Right? I just decide to play the Warden, right? I can't really drop Sniper. I think is really important on my Aphelios, and I don't really want to drop my upgraded Garen because I feel like this is a good tank unit. And then as you can see, I made Redemption, right? Redemption's, it's not like the greatest frontline item. It's circumstantial. Like some units it's really good on. Like for example, if you're playing Bruisers, it's really good because it heals percentage health. Wardens, I think it's not as good because they already have damage reduction, if I'm not mistaken. We can check it in the stats as well after, right? But I just want to slam something. I have to kill the tier, right? This one could be a Morello, this belt. But basically, a frontline item will help me streak, and that's what I'm hoping to do. Here, I could make 30, right? I'm just holding on to the Caitlyn and the Gnar, right? I can sell the Gnar, I can sell the Caitlyn. There's also a Senna. But the problem with the Senna... Sorry, I'm tired. The problem with the Senna is that I have an upgraded Kog'Maw, so I'm probably just going to play the Kog'Maw anyways. Last guy here, this guy's a little bit strong. I just slammed the components, right? The bow is always going to be an Aphelios / Ashe item, so I put the bow on the Aphelios. And the belt's always going to be, like, even if it's a Morello, I'm probably not sticking with this Garen long term. So I just put it on the Garen to make me a little bit stronger. We don't know if that 1 HP is going to matter in one of these fights. Obviously, I can scout and then slam last minute. But to me, it doesn't really matter. I just put them on. Let's roll, right? 30 gold, full streaking, right? That's what you want to see. So having a sniper opener, I got some upgrades. It was a pretty good streak. It worked out, right? If I started losing fights, then holding on to these expensive units sometimes really hurts you. It bites you. It bites you really hard. Here, I'm kind of on my game, right? Even though I'm like 0 LP and I'm struggling, you know, I really want to make sure this one's a win. What I do is I swap the Gnar for the Jax, just because the Gnar is more expensive. So I put in a cheaper unit on the board so that if I need to sell to make Econ, to make like 50, right? I can sell a more expensive unit, right? That's like my thought process. See, so I get the Diana, I can sell the Diana. If I got dropped another unit, I can maybe make Econ here. I could make Econ by selling everybody, but I'm just not fast enough. But yeah, that's the idea. If I was a little bit faster, I would sell all of these, make 50, right? I already got away with murder, right? I 5 streaked, right? I'm full streaking in the game. At this point, it's just I want to convert this, convert the HP into a win, right? I level here because I get 4 Warden, right? In my head, I'm looking around and I think to myself, I can probably streak with 4 Warden. It only cost me 1 gold, right? I would have been 50, but instead I'm 40. So it's like, it's just basically I just lose +1 gold. But if I keep my streak, I get +3 gold, right? So do the math. +1 or +3, right? Now this guy's strong as shit. He has a fucking Ornn. I didn't even see the Ornn. So now I'm kind of scared because, you know, the math doesn't work out if it's +3 or plus, you know what I mean? But we'll see if I can win this. If I can win this, I'm set. That's all I really care about. But I don't think I'm going to win this. I think the Zyra might snipe my Aphelios. Oh, wait. Hold. Yeah, that's what I figured. It's a Zyra 2 with a scaling item, which gains attack speed. So now I lose a little bit of gold, but the risk reward was worth it, right? It was like +1 or +3, right? And I was decently strong. I think that's one of the only guys I lose to, right? He had an Ornn and an upgraded Zyra, so it was a little bit awkward. Heroic grab bag's nice if I'm going for like an Aphelios 3, but I just take grab bag. Let's check the stats on that. I just want to see what my augments are, and then we'll do like the 2 things. So I had tons of stats. I had the Dragon Claw, bulk, and healing orbs. Alright. So now we'll just do the little thing. Thank you for all the support. If you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. We're going to have an RP giveaway at 500 subs. We just finished our previous giveaway, so make sure to subscribe if you want to be entered in that. And follow the instructions when we get close to our goal. Thank you. Alright, and then let's look at the stats. So, in terms of the stats, right, if you go like Ashe, let's just put in like an Ashe 2 for Sniper, right? For Sniper, Ashe 2, it averages like a 4. It has a really reliable top 4 percentage. Usually if you hit like just like 4 this and then 4 Warden, right? This is typically your board. You have a pretty stable top 4 percentage and you're pretty strong. There's some high roll things you can get with like augments in particular, right? So in terms of augments, like stuff like Scoreboard Scrapper is really good. Long shots, we'll start with just golds, right? Scoreboard Scrapper is always broken, just like, you know, you sack early and then you have a lot of damage late game. It's one of the best augments to take if you have like that kind of setup. Long shot is just really broken with snipers. It's been broken. If you ever see long shot, it's like you can, and you have sniper items and a good opener for it, you can take it. And then as you can see here, stuff like, this is why I was taking Best Friends. Best Friends works really well with snipers as well. And that's why it's down here. I think I took like Big Grab Bag. Big Grab Bag, it's not like that great. But Big Grab Bag is just like, you just get items, right? If you itemize your units, right, you're kind of okay a lot of the time. And then in Silver Augments, the best one to take is Best Friends. That's what I took, right? Because it just works out really well, right? Giving Armor and MR to Wardens works out really nice, and then giving attack speed to everybody also works out really well because starting AS on Ashe is really important. In terms of items, let's just go with craftable items, right? Don't worry about some of these like really niche ones, right? IE is one of the most important ones, and then Gwinsu is really important, and Last Whisper is usually like the last item, but IE is like typically the one that's most important, and that's why I usually prioritize IE. And Gwinsu is also really important, right? It's hard to filter out like Ashe with no Gwinsu, but as you can see, your items for Ashe are very like awkward, right? There's not a whole lot of them that are very particularly great, right? Like a lot of them are plus delta if you play them. You really want Ashe to have that IE, because when she does her cast with the damage that she does with the multi-hit, you really notice a difference. If you're playing a game and you don't have Infinity Edge on Ashe, you kind of notice that's really bad. Now, something else I want to show is for Sniper Forward, and it does like this. Let's say we have like Aphelios 2-star, and we're putting items on Aphelios, right? There's obviously going to be a lot less games. Typically, Aphelios really, this is something I remember from when you used to play Aphelios reroll with Faded. That used to be a line that was really common. Red Buff and Deathblade are some of Aphelios' best items. You usually don't really care that much about Gwinsu. You'd rather just have like the starting AS and just have him like do a shit ton of damage, because the way that he shoots his three shots and just absolutely wrecks people is really strong. And then IE and stuff like these are really good. Now the reason like with Ashe, I think like typically with Ashe, like you'll see like Last Whisper is really good on Ashe. I prioritize Last Whisper last because Aphelios has built-in armor reduction. So I usually prioritize the Last Whisper at the end. That's why I prioritize the other two. Also, why is it reversed now? It's when I put Ashe 2, it says less. Ashe 1, it's really important to have like some of these other items, I guess. Or Ashe Any. Yeah, Ashe Any says Gwinsu's better. I think it's just like skewed stats, but typically like I build Last Whisper after prioritizing these two items. If you haven't seen the board basically is just like you play 4 Sniper, and 4 Warden. It's actually a very easy board that's quite complete on level 8, right? Which is really nice. Right, I do find though that the augments matter a lot with this comp. As you can see, it usually averages like a 4. It doesn't average that high. It has like a 60% top 4 chance, but a lot of times it's very easy for you to just bum out. You know what I mean? It's very easy for you to just like get wrecked and all of a sudden go bot 4. But typically this is what your board looks like. Obviously Set can be any of the other Wardens. You just play for synergy, and a lot of times you itemize Nautilus, but Alawi and Amumu are also good tanks. And then you kind of play setting up your snipers in such a way that your Aphelios is usually close to your Ashe, especially if you don't have the armor reduction. And then you're always trying to position your Ashe. I'll try and mention it during the game, but you're trying to position your Ashe opposite side of the opponent's carry. so that she does maximum damage, because that's how snipers work. They do damage based on distance. And then you want to try and spread out. You don't want to clump too much, because if there's like a Morgana or a Lilia player, then you're just going to get wrecked. So you want to spread out as much as possible. Get your set stacks in if you get a set early. And then when you level up, the comp is really a high roll if you get a sniper +1. Because basically you can put a sniper +1 on almost anybody and it's pretty good, right? Like sniper +1 you could put on Set, you can put on Syndra, you can put on Nautilus, right? Because basically it makes Set's AoE bigger, which is really useful if you have a Set 2. You can put on Nautilus, which makes it really good if he like hits really far away units, right? And his stun is just bigger. And Syndra just for like increased damage, right? These are all things that are like really useful, right? And then once you have this many snipers, basically if you have a sniper +1, you can try and like fit in 6 sniper on level 9, right? If you can fit in 6 sniper, right, because there's 5 snipers already and you have like a Kog'Maw, right? If on level 9 you can even drop like one, you just have so much damage, right? Usually like you don't play Syndra here, you'll keep your 4 wardens. Let me put back the warden. It was a Mumu here. Usually you'll play something like this on level 9, right? And then you'll snipers focus the other one. The Syndra's kind of bait, right? The Faded is a little bit bait a lot of the time. If you have a sniper +1, what you do is you put on a frontline unit, right? And that way you can fit in an extra backline unit without having to lose your frontline of 4 warden. And then your 6 sniper and you just win out, right? So it's very high roll if you actually hit the sniper +1. So that's all I'll say about that. Let's go back to the game. So, this is 4-1. We did spend a little bit of extra time. So, in terms of augment choice, I end up getting the Guinsoo, right? Just because of item economy, I don't have an IE, so I'm a little bit stressed, right? Remember I showed you how IE is like really good on Ashe, but I assume that like, you know, I have some compensated damage for having Deathblade, right, as my +1 item. It's just worse Ashe items, right? But I have the Guinsoo, I have the Last Whisper. I'm level 7, 80 gold on 4-1. I basically just have a bunch of gloves and a bunch of bows, right? I don't really want to make red. I made Sunfire Cape because I was like early on just to kill like those components that wasn't really needed. So I didn't want to make red buff because like in my head I was thinking like if I make Guinsoo I'll just like kill the rod that way. And then I just made Shred. Even though Aphelios has built-in Shred, as I was saying, it's just item economy, right? I didn't get like an infinity edge to slam. This Deathblade I got dropped, right? If you skip the early part of the video, because sometimes people just don't watch the video and then start harassing or mentioning shit that doesn't make sense. The Deathblade was dropped to me, right? It was the component, it was Anvil start the portal. So I didn't burn my swords uselessly making Deathblade. It's just that's what I got. One of the best augments to take, I think, is Jeweled Lotus, if I'm not mistaken. We can double check in the stats. Here I'm gonna level and I'm gonna roll. We're looking for Ashe, right? But you know, if we hit, we hit. If we don't, we don't. We lost a couple fights in the other stage, so we're like 64 HP, so it's a little bit stressful. I just make the Aphelios 2 because I am running out of money and I do not think I'm hitting Ashe. So we put that in, we put in the Ashe. I'm 5 Warden, 3 Sniper. I'm definitely missing a Sniper. I don't know why. I think at one point for Econ I sold the Caitlyn and that was a big mistake because now I'm not 4 Sniper, so my damage is going to be a little bit bad. I'm trying to figure out what to do. I'm putting in an Udyr over somebody. It might have been like an Ink Shadow line where I can play like something else, but I'm pretty much just 2 Sniper. This was a really long round. I didn't position properly for my opponents, which is pretty bad. So I might lose this round. With the Aphelios, if you're solo carrying Aphelios, you can also just try and fit in Faded, right? If I could fit in like 2 Faded units just to like do some more damage with Aphelios, with 2 Sniper, it's probably a little bit better. This guy just didn't really hit either. I don't know how he's so weak, but my Aphelios just fucking destroyed him. My front line's also fairly upgraded, which is nice. There is another Ashe player in the lobby, and I think they hit everything. Something else that you should always be aware of is Aphelios 3 out. So I have 6 Aphelios here. What I do is I switch out the Kog'Maw because I'm only 2 Sniper anyways. Fuck it, we'll just do double Aphelios and hopefully do some more damage. The Kog'Maw does like magic damage anyways, and then I find a set. So now, now that I have the set, I can swap out one of the Wardens for set, and then I can maybe fit in Thresh for Behemoth somewhere, right? So I have best friends, so it's a little bit awkward. Yeah, I just fuck up everything. I'm kind of panicking. I should hold on to this Thresh and put in Faded for Aphelios, right? A lot of this Ashe line, especially when you hit Ashe, Ashe 1 typically does more damage a lot of the time. But especially for me in this case, that I have like the set already, you can itemize and hold on to these Aphelios 2s, or this Aphelios 2, and kind of like try your best to kill units, right? Right now I'm in dire straits, right? I'm not like particularly strong. I just don't want to lose too much HP, right? As many units as I can kill allows me to survive, right? Surviving as long as possible is good. I have decent combat, which helps. But, you know, it's hard to say. See, this guy with the Ashe, he took reinforcement, which is not a good combat augment. That just, like, guarantees you a 2-star version of the unit. If you play this Ashe line, that's usually not enough. You really need, like, strong combat, because the board is really capped on level 8, right? Unless you have a sniper +1, you're not really playing for first, ever. So this is a very tempo-based comp. You want to be very strong early, and you want to be, like, stable early, right? And a lot of how you stabilize is not around like the actual upgrades of the unit, because Ashe 1, Ashe 2, it's not as important as like a front line and having like strong combat. You can compensate for that with extra damage. Me, I'm just 0 every turn, right? I'm looking for some sort of upgrade. I didn't hold on to the Thresh, which is pretty bad. I could have played Thresh over this Aphelios and get Faded bonus in. I think that's a little bit stronger. I find the Nautilus here. But basically, I'm trying not to go bot 4, right? That's my goal right now. With this comp, you find yourself in this position sometimes. It's not worth it to greed, right? There's nothing on level 9 that fixes my board, right? It's not like I go level 9 and all of a sudden I'm strong. Here, it's like I don't want to sell the Kog'Maw because I need the snipers, right? I'm looking for like one other sniper. That's why I'm rolling so deep, right? This Udyr's okay, but it's not necessarily the best. And then I find Nautilus 2, so I should be a little bit stable. Itemize the Nautilus. So next turn, I'll probably lose this fight, but next fight I should be a little bit stronger. Here I just have like the double Aphelios, trying to do damage, kill as many units as possible. As you can see, I did kill a lot. It's a 3-unit loss, which isn't that bad, right? It's not the end of the world. It's not like game-breakingly bad. But as you can see, I'm kind of free-falling, slowly dying. Treasure Armory is a little bit like, great. But basically with the Treasure Armory, I already have good frontline items. I'm just rolling to find some sort of Ashe item, and I'll just itemize somebody else. So look, bam, Guinsoo and Glove, that's perfect for me. I would have been happy with any AD item that's like good, right? And then if I don't get an AD item, we'll just make do. But now what I can do is, remember I was saying with Ashe, the better items are IE and Guinsoo? Well, guess what? I can put IE Guinsoo. I finally found a Caitlyn. I was looking for like a Senna or a Caitlyn or somebody to get 4 sniper in. Now my board is pretty stable, right? I know it doesn't look stable. I have Ashe 1, right? And I have Aphelios 2. It's not necessarily the best in terms of stability. The other way I could have stabilized is maybe with thing. But as you can look here, this guy, absolute dog shit augments, right? Playing Ashe board. Holding extra Ashe, but he's very rich. I don't know, he's just trying to go 9 or something. I have frontline upgrade Ashe 1, but my augments are so much better. Look at this fight. It's not even close, right? This guy should be rolling a little bit more, especially if you have reinforcement, right? You don't have the stability to, like, how do I phrase it? Like, you don't have the stability to be, like, safe at that level, right? Now, before you guys mention, like, why isn't set benching 2 units? It's because I don't care about this set getting stacks up until like infinity, right? This set does not matter to me. What matters to me is the best friends value, right? The silver augment, it's actually substantial. It's pretty important. Also, I should look at the stats on Jeweled Lotus for Ashe, right? So let's go like Ashe 2, 4 snipe. For sniper, augments, gold placement. I remember Jeweled Lotus was okay. I think it fell off. It kind of fell off a little bit, maybe. Wow, it actually isn't that good. I thought Jeweled Lotus was always good on Ashe. Am I mistaken? I thought just damage augment was good. Jeweled Lotus is actually negative. Okay, so Jeweled Lotus is not that good. Never mind. I guess it's because you make IE. I made Runans here just because like any Ashe item is fine. I'm just buffing my damage. This guy's very strong, right? Zyra 3. right? Almost 3-star everybody else. But guess what? They don't have a good front line, right? And I win. Right? This Aphelios damage, if you look at it, it's very substantial, right? 6,000 damage on Aphelios, 4,000 damage on Ashe. This is how the line becomes very strong later, right? Playing around in early Aphelios, like, you know, I still have, like, maybe I hit Aphelios 3, right? That's what I'm thinking in my head. If I hit Aphelios 3, then I'm in a pretty good spot. I would also not mind switching out this Kog'Maw for a Senna. There is a Senna here. I should switch it out, right? The problem with Kog'Maw is not, like, Kog'Maw as a unit. It's that the rest of my team is doing AD damage. So it's usually a little bit better to have the Senna that also does AD, because then, like, it takes advantage of some of the shredding that Aphelios will do. Here I'm trying to, like, position my units a little bit better. I'm always trying to position opposite side, right? This guy's extremely fucking strong. Xayah 2 on level 8. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is this? Can we be honest here? Like, I'm still Ashe 1. I'm not even Ashe paired. You know what I mean? I just don't hit at all. So, I'm going to lose against this guy. But what you want is you want your Ashe and Aphelios opposite side of the carry. Almost always. Right? There's some specific cases where you want to be same side as the carry. But we're just trying to kill as many units as possible. As you can see, the lobby's very close. Everybody here is like... Everybody here is like 30 HP. Everybody here is like 1 HP. You know what I mean? So there's no reason for me to save Econ and go 9. I'm just rolling for anything, right? I'm rolling pretty aggressively. There's not much I can find, but, you know, maybe I just find a double Ashe shop, right? Making the Econ doesn't matter too much. Here I'm trying to reposition based on my fight, right? We'll see what happens after. I put Ashe and Aphelios on this side. Let's see if it's right side. Right, I'm a little bit slow with my positioning, so a lot of times I have to see it early. And yes, this is right side, right? Because Ashe, Tristana, these are all the units that you need to kill. So we want the max amount of distance with the snipers. And we also want Nautilus to be in front to stun them all, right? As you can see, this guy, level 8, 50 gold, very fucking strong. Little buddies, good, decent combat, right? Obviously, decent combat, not necessarily a problem. Has Moonstone Gem, which is the most broken support item in the game with Duelists, but positioning with snipers, good combat augments. Ashe 1 doesn't matter. We'll still win that fight. And something that's really important here, there's a Faded +1. There's not really much else for me. There's like a Fortune. If I get the Crown Guard, I'm down. QSS maybe on set, right? But like I'm down for like a frontline item. As you can see, all the items are fucking gone. So I just take the Faded Crest, right? I already have a set, so what this will do is it will boost my Aphelios damage a little bit. As you can see, I'm still 6 Aphelios. There is another Ashe player in the lobby that's holding Aphelios, so I don't expect to hit Aphelios 3. I'm rolling deep every round because I'm just looking for Ashes before they're all gone, right? There's no need for me to greed to go 9. I could play a little bit greedy and like hold Econ until I lose a fight, right? Because then you have a little bit of interest and you have a little bit more option to play the game. But for me, at least, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, like, if I can find, like, an Aphelios, if I can find, like, a Senna. Like, I didn't buy the Senna because the Kog'Maw was upgraded. But, like, you know, there's some level of, maybe I can, like, fit in some extra damage, right? But, yeah, if I was playing a little bit less stressed, I'm more stressed, right? Somehow I'm the top HP in the lobby. I don't know how, but we'll take it. Did I position right side here? Let's make sure. I want to point out positioning. So I scout, right? I scout here. I think this guy, usually you don't want to be on the same side as Irelia, because Irelia, she can hit and then it kind of like hits the 4 closest units, so sometimes your backline just gets fucking wrecked. But I think I had to position opposite side of this guy. Yeah, so this is not necessarily right side. The Lee Sin's in the middle and the Volibear is here, but then there's a Wukong here, so it's like you're kind of like, you know, pick your poison, right? You know, do you want to get wrapped and hit by the Wukong randomly, or do you want to try and like do this, right? Now, as you can see, this is what happens sometimes, right? This guy's front line was worse, so then my Ashe and my Aphelios walked up and sniped the Irelia. Because of the extra sniper range, that happens quite often, right? Sniper gives extra range, so a lot of times, if their front line is weaker than your front line, then when you kill this unit, your snipers will walk up to try and find a new target, and this will be the same. They'll aggro the backline, right? So for example, with this Ashe player, or this Morgana player, right? If I feel like their front line will die before mine, sometimes you can position Ashe on same side and try and snipe their carry before they start doing damage to your carry. That's like an option, right? I find that it's really, really important in the sniper mirror matchup, right? In this matchup, I'm just dead anyways. It's a fucking Xayah 2, Kai'Sa 2, Teemo upgraded, fully upgraded front line. Like, this guy just fucking won the game. Like, you know, he found Xayah 2 on 8, right? But that's how it is sometimes, right? You know, you can't always play for first, and I'm okay with that. You know, look at my match history, right? There's a lot of games where I fucked up really badly, right? I'm still learning. But, you know, at the same time, this guy can clean up everybody else, right? As long as I preserve HP and kill units, that's fine. And what I have been doing is preserving HP and killing units, right? It's a guaranteed top 4. I'm still Ashe 1, right? Do you guys want to bet? Do you guys think I'll hit Ashe 2 by the end of the game? This guy went level 9. I don't care. You know what I mean? But yeah, is he still holding the extra ashes, by the way? I need to look at that. But yeah, I've been rolling every round, right? I'm just trying to find any copy of Ashe. Because, like, you know, it spikes me. Usually you only roll if you're Ashe paired, but I don't want to greed my econ, because I do that sometimes, and then other people just hold on to ashes and you never hit. Now I hit a lesser duplicator. I'm 1 off Aphelios. I'm just sending it to 0, right? If I hit Aphelios 3, I'll feel stable, right? I really, really want this Aphelios 3. And there's an Ashe here. I'm not going to sell. It's like, what do I do? I just look for an item. I'll just... Protector's Vow is okay. Or Hodge. Like, something for a front line. I'd probably take Protector's Vow, put on Alawi, because Alawi's my better tank. And I'm fighting against the Duelist guy, right? I want to be opposite side of the Duelist player. So I'm on right side, right? So opposite side, these are the important units. I maximize my sniper's damage. I put Aphelios in front of the Ashe. I don't know if it's better to swap these two. I think Ashe does more damage, right? I think she's just a better unit. Even Ashe won with 3 items, right? We'll look at the damage report when this is done. Oh, Aphelios did more damage, but Ashe died first. But it actually worked out, because I think they do, like, almost the same damage. So I just put the Ashe in the corner, because I think it'll be a little bit safer for her. So now I have Ashe. This guy killed the other Ashe players, so I positioned better, you know. But that's all about HP preservation. I sell the Aphelioses, because in my head, I'm like, I think I have more gold to roll selling Aphelios than I do selling the Ashe, right? That's the idea, right? So you might say, like, why didn't you sell Ashe and look for Aphelios 3? I'm losing against this guy anyways. The game's kind of fucking over, right? The only thing I think I can win with is maybe, like, Ashe 2 gets some cheese, right? Like, if Ashe 2 just randomly kills the Xayah and I win the fight. But look, level 9, Udyr 2, Kai'Sa 2, it's a wrap, you know. Let's go next game. It's fine, right? You know, well, it is what it is. I'm surprised that Jeweled Lotus is bad on Ashe. I guess it's because you're making IE, so it's just like diminishing returns. But either way, best friends. We have some good augments, right? And that's how we play. Look, if you look at me, this guy had Ashe 2 the whole game, right? Look at our boards, right? This is why HP preservation matters so much, right? There's a lot of times we'll be playing the game and you might get frustrated. Like, it happens to me as well, right? I'll play the game and I'll be like, how is my board a 4th, right? Like, look at this guy, right? Wukong 2, Morgana 2. Like, this guy's very fucking strong. Look at this guy, 3-star everything, right? Like, he didn't have 3-star Shen, right? This guy's a duelist player. He was pretty strong, right? Double Moonstone, Fine Vintage, Extended Duel, right? There's a lot of these players that are, like, extremely fucking strong. But you have to note, right? Sometimes somebody's just really fucking strong, right? This guy, right? Is this an insane board? Yeah, because on level 8, people don't even have Lee Sin 2, and this guy has Xayah 2, and just fucking going straight to 9, Silas 2, good Ink Shadow item, just fucking destroying everybody in the lobby, right? And that's why preserving HP matters a lot, right? I kind of played around this Aphelios with this Ashe line. It's very difficult sometimes. Sometimes you just don't hit, right? This was a game I didn't hit, right? And I still was able to luck, with a little bit of luck and a little bit of effort, we're able to get a 2nd, right? Is this a 2nd? No, it could have easily been a 4th, but, you know, it's a pretty reliable top 4 because, like, you know, we take our opener, we play a strong opener, we convert that opener in stage 3, we pick good solid combat augments, right? And like, you know, if this guy didn't take reinforcement, if this guy took like a strong combat augment, for example, then he probably would have outplaced me, right? Just that extra damage, right? Look at me, set 1 Ashe 1, set 2 Ashe 2, right? It's just an illustrative moment, right? It sometimes happens like that, and it's important to always note, just try and play your strongest board, try and pick good augments, and just keep up with it. Even if you have like a low roll game like this one, you can still try and convert it to a top 4. You know, you might not get second, you might get 4th, you might even go 5th, right? But there's gonna be games like that where you just don't hit, and it's just a matter of like making sure you play around your strongest board, right? Play around your extra units, play around your good item holders, and try and be stable. Anyways, that was for today's video. I think I'm gonna do guides all week starting Monday is what I decided. I've just been like procrastinating on doing the guides and stuff, but we'll get through some guides that I've been promising. They were supposed to be out like on Friday, but you know, I just took the weekend as a break. Anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy your day.